So just quickly put together a new deck. This is a Bolas-based deck, red, black, and blue deck, using the new War of the Spark mechanic, Amass. Just trying to see what type of new spells are, what type of mechanics, how do things kind of flow together. Uh, this deck I've been playing with all morning. It's far from being complete. However, started to get a couple wins here and there, so I figured why not? Let's bring this deck up and let's see what we can do with this and uh, kind of see how it needs to be improved. I'm not one fan of using Sparky. I like to play real people. I think that sometimes when you play Sparky, it might do stuff that it's programmed to do. However, it might not do stuff that somebody may or may not do. So the best way to test a deck out, I think, is just to play it. And if it sucks, it sucks. I've already destroyed one deck today. I did try to do a black and or not a black, blue and white deck that was a Ujin-based colorless artifact deck. And after playing with it, I decided that I can't build a soul artifact colorless deck. So I got to think of what other things I want to do with that, and then I'll maybe bring that back in somewhat one way or the other. Um, Artifacts I used to not be real into. However, there are some really neat artifacts that after I started playing with my Thopter deck, I was like, ooh, this is kind of nice. So uh, why don't we get started? Play a couple rounds with the Nicol Bolas deck. Um, these are two other decks that are in progress. They're not even named. Don't even know if they'll make the cut. I typically don't name any of my decks until I feel like they're going to stick around for a while. So this is the black, red, and blue deck. I'll kind of sort the cards out. This is kind of what's in there right now. Got Pharaoh Statue, two Nicol Bolases. Unfortunately, I only have two. The last game I played with this deck that I won was against the Goblin deck. I pulled Nicol Bolas really pretty early, and by the fifth turn I had him out, plinking away at his hand, and then eventually it started plinking away at his creatures, and then finally the guy decided that enough was enough and he conceded the game. Some interesting things in here. Ravenous Harpy. I've just put him in there for some flying. Also with all the Amass. If I have a small 1/1 or 2/2 Amass and I can pump up my Ravenous Harpy, why not? I really don't know. Like I said, I haven't played this a lot. So I gotta try to revise it a little bit better. Some things I might do down the road is maybe swap out the individual lands for some other dual lands, just so that there's a little bit more flexibility in pulling cards. So again, I try to stick with themes. The only downside about this in Amass that I found out early is there's a nice white card that can really screw over Amass, to put it nicely. Earlier today, when I was playing against a deck, and this is also part of the reason why I put the Ravenous Harpies in, is if I can find this card. This card right here. Enchanted creature cannot attack or block. Well, I had a nice Amass army building up, and then somebody drops Luminous Bonds on my deck. And there went all my Amass. So if you are playing white, or you have the ability to block or enchant a creature and it can't attack or block, that's a great way to counter Amass, I found, because my creature sat there getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I couldn't do anything about it. So I kind of put the Ravenous Harpies in that if someone drops Luminous Bond, I can sacrifice it as well, and I can start building up my Amass army again, because if you don't have a way to kill your own creature or destroy target creature, this card will kill Amass. And I am sure if you play white or a deck that has a white splash into it, or even a sideboard, you're going to have to watch out for these spells that are enchant creatures, can't attack or block, because boom, there goes your army. Great card. As soon as that guy did it, or girl did it to me, I was like, shit, I'm done. So, you know, keep that in mind if you're playing, you're designing a deck. Any spell that can prevent a creature from attacking. I mean, blue has its own little Water Knot, you know, another nice little fun card that you can drop on your opponent, and enchanted creature cannot attack. And that person's going to sit there and say, I hate you. I mean, there's some other ones. I mean, you could return, you know, non-land permanent to the owner's hand. I mean, that's another way, blue. But at least with that, all that you get is you have to start over. But when I built this deck originally, someone killed me with that card that said basically, hey, guess what? You know what? All your army is going to do is sit here and become a big, unthreatening creature, and I'm going to laugh at you. So, you know, try to keep that in mind when you're building decks like this, is to watch out for those cards that basically pacify your creature. You know, another nice one, can't attack. Guess what? Flash. Now your little army is going to sit there and stew. So you got to make sure, if you're going to build a deck surrounding Amass, to please make sure you put in something to remove your creature. And what better way than it is to sacrifice it and give it to the Ravenous Harpy? So think of that. You know, if anyone can think of any blue, black, or red spells that, you know, and unfortunately, you know, yeah, you could sit there and say, yo, I'll just Lightning Bolt or Shock it. But what if you have a 5/5? What if you have a 4/4? You know, you're going to need to make sure you have a way to burn it. So, Ravenous Harpy doesn't care how big it is. As soon as he slaps that on there, oh, no problem. I'm going to sacrifice it. 2/3. There you go. All right. So, enough talking about me and throwing in my 2 cents with when dealing with Amass decks. I also put Callous Dismissal in here. I'm not one that's... I don't like counter spells. I think they really limit what you can do. So, you know, you always have to make sure you have that mana open for when that person drops that Lawmaker's Binding or any of those spells. So at least with Callous Dismissal, you know, you can sit there and drop that as well. So it gives 8 ways to deal with either one, a pacified army, Dreadhorde, or it can, you know, return an opponent's creature if they're not going after your creatures, if you see that they're not playing white and blue, or any other type of deck that can pacify your creatures like that. You know, you can then start returning their permanents and make their life a living nightmare. Again, I just kind of picked out some of these blue, red, and black spells. I don't know if this will be what they'll be down the road. I haven't really looked at all the spells that have Amass, so this deck is pretty simple. The other nice thing in here, you know, this little guy right here, the Zombie Wizard. Zombie tokens you control have Death Touch. That's great. You know, it gives your guy zombie. Well, why not give all your creatures? So I kind of put them both in there. I know a lot of people like to play big, heavy, big creature green decks. You know, so trying to counter them. So, enough chatting. Let's play a couple rounds. Again, this deck is still early in development. This is... I can't guarantee how it's going to end up. You know, worst case scenario, the video sucks and everyone's like, oh, this guy doesn't know how to play Magic. But again, this is just a deck that is new. You know, it should be interesting to see how it goes against competing decks. So let's see what we get for opening hands here. Not too bad of an opening hand. I wish I had red. Hopefully I get some red mana early on. So my guess is this is going to be some type of Simic deck. I'm not a big fan of Simic. I really hate control decks. I really hate control decks. I'm still working out the mana curve. I mean, the only thing I don't like about some of these cards, oh, that's gonna hurt. That's a nice combination there. Now this deck only has 2 Nicol Bolases. That's all I had for my wild cards. Oh, there goes Gateway Plaza. There goes my red mana. That would have been really nice to have with that. The other fun thing, no real ways to get rid of enchantments. Hell, that sucks. Let's see if this guy blocks. I don't know why he's clicking on his enchantments. There's nothing. They're gonna help you, bud. And what do I lose now? Nice dual land. There's my damn red mana. The thing I hate about Psychic Origin is it really. Yeah. Now, mind you, I do like playing blue and black decks. I do love playing as the person. But all I'm going to have is a bunch of freaking harpies. Now, at least the nice thing is I can... give this guy a 2/3 and block Thief of Sanity. So at least for the time being, I'm going to... That right there hurts. All right, buddy, hit next. Now this guy basically shuts his deck down. That would have been handy. What else we got now in here? Yeah, this game's over. I'm done. Well, hopefully we have a better set chance this time. You can probably hear in the background, that's my little phoenix there. She's happy today. Okay, what do we got here? Not a bad opening hand. I do like Price of Betrayal. I think that's a nice card, especially with all the Planewalkers. And of course, entering tapped. First turn. Sorry, no, they should not want to, like, why would you want to untap that your first turn? Well, let's get rid of these Hermes. Let's see, just need one red mana and a Nicol Bolas to be out. And there's the card. That's why you have Luminous Bond, and that's why you put the Harpy in the deck. Let's watch this. And that, my friends, is why you have that. Now, meanwhile, that guy's probably thinking, what the heck just happened? But that right there is why you need Ravenous Harpy or some other creature that you can feed your army to. Unfortunately, death sometimes is the path to victory.
Feud or feast, your blood is mine. Vampirism is a useful trait.
for Nicol Bolas.
Oh, I forgot he gets all the abilities.
Come.
Perish!
Oh boy, 5/6, yada yada yada, vigilance, lifelink, yada yada yada. Lock. And that's how you do that return.
I outsmarted you eons ago.
Nicol Bolas that I've learned to like is as the first opponent goes down in cards.
I will return one day. Let your weak minds crumble.
I would have kept going. Alright, so not too bad. So, like I said, it has mixed results. I mean, Nicol Bolas is definitely cool. That was really cool. I forgot that he hates the abilities of other people. You know, that's going to be real interesting down the road, especially if you're playing in some type of tournament, to try to remember every single thing that he can do. So, let's see, summon Dragon Skull Summon, as long as I get one. And always, if somebody says, hey, you know, instead of doing this, why don't you look at this? I always don't mind, you know, people, as long as you don't say, hey, you're an idiot, why the hell are you playing this? But, you know, this would be an interesting, trying to figure out how to tweak this, how to add more things. I think I definitely, like I said, I need to get some 2-mana things in here. Oh, and Seal Away, another one of my favorite cards. So yeah. Yep, I see what he's saying. The other thing I'm worried about with Zombie Army, yeah, it's great. I'm pumping them up, but at what point do you just hold on to cards like this? I mean, you figure somebody exiles that or takes it out. You know, so you sit here and say, you know what, I'm going to pump that up to 7/7. I haven't looked at all these sets. I mean, the 50 packs of cards, I did a nice special I did. I've got quite a few cards. Not too many that I haven't gotten. Oh, well, of course, tap a target creature, yeah. Doesn't matter which one you're going to tap. If I were you, that's good. I always hate when people concede because I would have liked to see how that played out. I mean, you know, a win is a win, yeah, but unless if somebody's going to finish me in the next turn, you know, or 2 turns, like if I sit there and say, oh man, the guy's got like 15 creatures and they're all 5/5s, and I have 2, well, I mean, if I block, and then there's really not much you can do to recover. So I think that guy should have probably, or girl should have probably held on a little bit longer and see what happened. Oh, this is a debatable. I always hate when they give you 2 land. I hate mulliganing. I mean, I get to draw. That stuff in the next. No, somebody bought the magic sleeves. I don't know. I just I'm not a fan of sleeves, especially sleeves that really don't protect cards. I mean, I just have a hard time forking over cash. Now this is going to be interesting if I can lose this. It's a neat artifact deck. I do love, like I said, I do love artifacts. Sorcerer's one, that's going to be interesting. It'd be kind of fun to put in the Goblin deck, although the equip cost is high. I think I'll work on a blue-white wizard deck. I like theme decks. I like to try to keep them around the theme. Now this is, oh, when it dies. I have seen, I think there's still some cards in the mask. I'm not sure if that's if you get multiple cards that say mask and it gives them all to you at the same turn, or how that goes. I do like the new background. I always like to worry when somebody does stuff like this. Unfortunately, I hate unblockable creatures. I still think this needs some type of creature. Because that Mistcloak Herald is just going to need to be. Unfortunately, GG. A lot of random shit. Like, I really don't get this card, what real good that is. Have to kill you. I guess if you want to go against reanimate decks, but for some reason they seem like something I'd put in a sideboard. I wouldn't really waste the slots in my main deck for them. I mean, if you're playing like a zombie deck, and unfortunately there's no guy, GG. So creature removed. So murder. Might have to pop into those. The only problem is what do I take out? Alright buddy, just let me play my card. I should have just been nice and put that in, paid 2 life, and then died. Like, oops. But But yeah, good game. I hate Mist Cloak. I hate creatures that cannot be blocked. But it is what it is. And I'll give this guy the benefit of finishing me off. But he just attacked. That's all you can do. Just attack. Stop playing with your Sorcerer's Wand. Stop playing with it. Dude, just attack. I have 2 life. I can't block. Stop wasting my time. Like, what's the point of this? I mean, besides wasting my time? Like, you're playing with yourself. I'm about ready to concede in about 2 seconds, but I'm also curious what this is. What? You know, I looked at it time, like just freaking finish or something. I mean, come on. I should have conceded and not give a damn, but like, come on. So like I said, this is a newer deck. It is 60 cards. The other way. I'll tell you what, the one thing I do love about Magic the Gathering Arena. How does chicken copies? 2/2 creature and you can destroy it. Or murder. Or impale. Leaks Caress 2. Too much mana. Needs something low. Destroy target creature. Deadly Visit again. The Elder Spell. You know, I'd love to put that in. Might put it in a laptop or a sideboard. Now, see, that might be fun. Severed Strands. It's 2 mana. You get to destroy target creature. The only other thing is, though, with murder, these say opponent's control. If somebody pacifies or takes out your Dread Army, it's going to be difficult to do anything with them because you're only be able to target their creature. You're not going to be able to target yours if you have to. And again, like I said, you know, this kind of sucks. You know, if you wanted to add another Planeswalker, you could probably put him in. But let's just do murder for now. We'll do murder. I have played with these legendary zombie gods. They're pretty neat. I love the fact that they come back. They're kind of just like an ultimate annoyance. I don't know. What do we got for a mass here? Target creature gets -2. Hexproof. That'd be nice if you gave all your creatures hexproof. That might be something to look at. Dreadhorde Invasion. I've played against it once already. That guy did a lot better than I did when I played it. That's a lot of mana. Green and red and blue is going to be fun. That's going to be a lot of... But yeah, a lot of the mass... And just for the heck of it, let's... Blue and black. Would love another watery grave. Oh, there we go.